slavery reparations is back in the news. What happens when a country acknowledges a historic wrong but refuses to apologize for it? This week, leaders from African and Caribbean or Caribbean? Which one do you guys go with?
I say Caribbean.
I like Caribbean more.
Okay. But we say Pirates of the
Caribbean.
I say Caribbean, but I like Caribbean more.
Leaders from African and Caribbean nations met in Ghana and approved a new framework pushing for reparations and formal apologies tied to the transatlantic slave trade. Now, whenever people hear the word reparations, the conversation immediately jumps to money. But what's interesting here is that many of these leaders are also demanding something much more simpler: an apology, a formal acknowledgement of wrongdoing, a public statement that what happened was wrong and that the nations involved accept responsibility for their role in it. And that raises a question I think a lot of people are asking right now. If a country won't even apologize for slavery, what exactly is the reason why? More than 80 countries participated in discussions connected to a recent United Nations resolution that described the trafficking of enslaved Africans as one of history's gravest crimes against humanity. I agree. The conference focused on what reparatory justice could look like moving forward. Some leaders are calling for economic measures, others are emphasizing education, historical recognition, and institutional reforms, blah, blah, blah. But across the board, one theme keeps coming up: recognition, and yes, apologies. And let's be honest, most people understand slavery was wrong. That's settled. But the debate now is whether acknowledging the history is enough, or whether nations that benefited from that history have an obligation to do something more, even if that is just simply saying we were wrong. Which brings us to the United States. Do you think America would ever issue a formal apology for slavery? And maybe the bigger question, do you think that could ever possibly happen, since it's already had some momentum under the Trump administration? What do you guys think?
I will tell you for certain it will never happen under the Trump administration.
Have you ever been more certain of anything in your life?
The closest thing we're getting to an apology for slavery is them kneeling down with that kente cloth on their necks that 1 year, and I think that's as close as we're gonna get.
But you know what? Well, I think we would get money before we get an apology. Like literally, when you said apology, I got like chills because I'm like, I've never heard anybody say that before. It's always about like money, and I'm like, of course we're not going to get that. But when you said an apology, could you imagine if the country is like, we're sorry for slavery, like that would end racism. That would really change some things.
That's so weird. I don't care about an apology. I want
your 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, like I want the same effort to be put into I don't necessarily need for people to like write out a whole bunch of checks. Like I think the same effort into economic advancement that was given to our counterparts should be given to us. The low interest loans, the ability to go to school, like those different things.
Things that were done over unreachable 100 years ago, though, right?
Sorry,
things that were kind of done and settled about 100 years ago, right?
Yeah, like I want for people to have opportunity. Like I want for neighborhoods to be revitalized. I want, you know what I'm saying? Like these are things that
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
like there could be investments in places, like major investments, not little piddly. Like those are things that can be done to acknowledge, like, yes, the state of things was caused by the way things have been done in our country. And I guess it would be a far reach to say like, oh, we're going to give checks to every African American. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen ever.
The reason I said 100 years ago. Sorry, say it again, Dex.
They did give out those PPP loans. Like that was kind of. I mean, the city went wild with those.
Yeah, and then they arrested those.
I was a fool because I was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that."
But I tell you, if we would have did it, we would have went to jail.
I mean, the reason I brought up 100 years ago is just because the climate just seems so much different. Like, okay, we would have to have a situation to even consider something like this. We would have to have a situation where the Democrats somehow got the House, the Senate, and the presidency. We had to have a triarchy. We would literally have to control everything, and then we would have to probably get a couple of more, or add some seats to the Supreme Court. Because if whatever we try to put out, I'm sure they would say, "Oh, this is not lawful for you to put out," just because there's a 6-3 majority the other way in the Supreme Court. So I'm with Ty. I don't think it would ever.
Jason, to be honest with you, and I hate to sound like a cynic, but I think even if we had those things, like, I don't think there are enough Democrats that are like very, very center, to where even if we had all three, I still don't think anything would happen.
It's crazy,
to be honest.
Also, I do think that mindsets too are a big issue with this, and I do think because things weren't rectified decades ago, people have very flawed mindsets, and they're very cynical too about like the government and all that stuff. So even if you were to issue paychecks and even like invest in communities, I think we're so far gone at this point that wouldn't really do it. That wouldn't help. Like, people would see you doing that and then they would still find an issue with it. Like, that's just kind of how like toxic collectively the community has gotten. And I don't know. I think honestly the apology, shooting for that, is probably your best bet, to be honest with you. I think that we should get that apology and put it front and center in that $850 million Obama Center. I think that's what we should do. Let's fight for this apology.
So nasty.